next step we need to do? With this DB analysis is completed and static query is also ready. Database is also ready. Database setup is also done in the cloud, and I'm able to connect to the database and I'm able to execute the queries. Now execute below queries to check DB. Execute below queries to check the DB. What is the first one? Show databases. Then after, use DB name. Then after, show tables. Currently nothing is available. Then what should we do now? What is our next task? Guys, come on. What is the next task? Note, with this database setup is ready. The above steps, our DB setup is ready in the AWS cloud. With the above steps, our database setup is ready in the above steps. Do we really need to create the tables manually, or our application will create the tables? Do we really need to create the tables, or our application will create the tables? Application will create. No. Development. Create the boot project. Development. What should we do? Create Spring Boot application. Create Spring Boot application with required dependencies. Boot application with required dependencies. Create entity classes and repository interfaces. Configure data source properties. Configure data source properties in application.properties file. Configure data source properties in application.properties file. Note, run the application and see tables created in database or not. If tables created, then execute queries to insert data into static tables. Tables created, then execute queries to insert the data into static tables. What are the static tables available? Country, state, city. Do you already have those queries? Do we have those queries already? We have these queries already. 2 plus 4, 6 plus 8, 14 queries are there. Once the tables are created, now you have to execute these queries to insert the data. Create the boot application with required dependencies. You have to understand. Now I will not tell you what dependencies are required. We need to develop a REST API, which is having a database communication. We need to send an email also, right? We need to add a Swagger also. You understand what we need to do in the project. Based on that, you add the dependencies. Then create entity classes and repository interfaces. Configure data source properties and AutoDDL in application.properties file. AutoDDL means it will generate the schema. Based on the entity classes, tables will be created. Configure data source properties and AutoDDL in the application.properties file. Run the application and see tables created in the database or not. If a table is created, then execute queries to insert the data into static tables. Now next, analyze classes and methods required for our application. This is what you need to do today. H2 not required. We are using H2 database or we are using MySQL database? Are we using H2 database or we are using MySQL database? Then which dependency you need to add? H2 dependency or MySQL dependency? Right. Database URL we should give should give the AWS URL. This is the URL of the database. This is the database URL. You need to give your database URL here. Endpoint URL, database URL, and you need to give URL/DB name. URL/DB name. You need to configure like this. URL/ what is the database name that you need to give. Driver class and all that you guys should understand what you need to configure. Already we configured the data source properties in the first mini project. There we configured H2 data source. Now we need to configure MySQL. You guys have to figure out. If I teach like this, there is no use, because everything I'm teaching, I'm writing, I'm analyzing. You will not learn anything. That's why I gave 1 day time for you to analyze. You have not done that. You have not done that. That means you are losing. You are failing. If you give me another 2 hours time, I will complete the project also. If you give me another 2 hours time, I will complete the project also. But is that important? Completing the project by me. Is that important, guys? Yeah, what is your task now? What do you need to do today? What you guys should do today? Create the database. We have to configure MySQL database. You need to check, are you able to connect with the database by using Workbench? Then you need to create the project. I have given the tables already. For the tables, you need to create the entity classes and repositories, configure the data source properties, run the application, check the tables are created in the database or not. If the tables are created in the database, then you need to analyze the classes, execute the queries to insert the data, then analyze the classes and methods required for our application. Too much work. But if you spend 2 hours, you can complete everything. If you spend 2 hours of time, you can complete everything. By tomorrow, I will come up with all this work, guys. I will also do the homework, because if I create the classes and repositories, configure the properties, execute the queries, it will waste our time. Tomorrow I will set up, today I will set up, I have given you task. Same task I will also do, and before coming to tomorrow's session, I will keep my application ready. Before coming to tomorrow's session, I will keep my application ready. Tomorrow I want to see that you people has done this work. I want to see your database in the cloud with the tables and the data. And I want to see the classes and methods in your IDE. You should create the project. Can you guys do this before coming to tomorrow? Can you guys do this before coming to tomorrow? Now, daily I cannot scold you. If you don't do it, then you are going to lose. If you don't do it, then you are going to lose. It's not me. It's not me. You are going to lose it if you don't do it. I have given the assignment. You have to do it on your own. Fine, guys. Thank you. With this, I'm stopping for today. Today's session is very, very, very important. We discussed about the database tables that we need. We discussed about the queries, how to set up the database in the AWS cloud, how to connect to the database, and what is the assignment for today. Today's task. This is today's task for you guys. You have to do this before coming to tomorrow's session. Fine. I will upload these notes in the portal. Please start working on that. Anybody having any questions before winding up today's session? Anybody having any doubts before winding up today's session? Rituras, do you have any questions? Rituras, Aniket Kumar, any questions, guys?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
just one thing. I have used this one. This will I have put one more table, that is long table, right? So this user ID, same references, activity, that is login, logout, or forgot password. These three primary activity they are doing. And this IP and create timestamp. So this will, I think, it's okay. I can use.
Yeah, if you keep it, that's okay, fine, no problem. Yeah, if you keep it, that's okay, no problem. So you understand how I analyzed and what is our today's task. So do you like this?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, good. Aniket Kumar, what's your doubt?
No, sir, no doubt.
No doubt. You understand what is the assignment for today?
Yes, yes.
What is the assignment for today?
First, we have to analyze the database connection, and also we need to create this database with the AWS RDS, and then all the required classes we have to make on our Spring Boot, and yeah, and accordingly we need to insert the data, and we need to test our connection is successful or not. This is
Yeah. After that, tables creation. Who will do the tables creation? We do or application will do?
Application will do, sir, with the data JRTP.
Okay. Then we need to execute the queries to insert the data.
Yeah.
Then you have to analyze the classes and methods we need for our application.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Can you do that before coming to tomorrow?
Sure, sir.
Can you show me that tomorrow's session?
Definitely.
Yeah, very good, sir. So what's your opinion on this requirement? Is it useful or it's waste?
Very, very much useful, sir.
Very much useful, yeah. Guys, understand, we are developing with the latest technologies. Trending tech stack we are using. Spring Boot Microsoft, Spring Boot REST API we are developing for backend. Angular frontend we are doing. Database we are using from AWS. Then we will deploy that in the AWS cloud. See how beautiful it is. If you really practice it with proper analysis, then you can become a very good full stack developer with the cloud platform as well. This is the best platform for you to learn all these things and become a very good full stack developer. And I'm telling you how to analyze the requirement also. I'm not just writing the code, whatever I know. I'm telling you how you should write the code on your own. How you need to change your thought process that I'm discussing here. So that tomorrow once you join in the company, you should not face the problems to do the coding. So that's why do proper analysis before writing the code. Most of the people failed at the DB analysis only. If you are not able to analyze the DB, then how can you analyze the classes and methods? You should have a clear picture on the database, tables. Then only you can analyze the classes required for your project. At the first step only you failed, then how can you complete the second step? सोचो भाई एक बार काम करो अच्छे से चलो कल मिलेंगे
Sir, 1 minute.
Yes sir, Manikanta.
Sir, actually, at the time of registering, we are entering email ID, right?
Where? Which one, sir?
At the time of registration, where user management only.
Yeah, right.
Hello, sir, I did it.
Yes, sir, I can.
At the time of, suppose I am trying to add your email ID, then your email ID registration will be registration will be done, but not active. It will be it will be in hold, right?
Yes, it will be in hold. Yeah.
Then suppose you are also trying to register. At the time you are getting message like your email is already registered. Like that you will get, right?
Yes,
that
sir.
is that is wrong, right?
No, now how can you stop? Now if people know my email ID, can I stop them not to enter my email ID? How can we control that in the application? We can't control. Even if they use
OTP like that thing.
no, the email verification is there, no? Email verification is for that purpose only. That is the reason I am keeping the account in the hold. That is the reason I am keeping account in the hold. They cannot log in with my mail ID. They need to confirm that mail ID. They need to unlock the account. That's why I am keeping unlock account functionality. Understand?
Okay. Because of me, you are facing.
Even if you create the account with my mail ID, can you log in into that application? Can you log in into the application or you cannot log in? That's what.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't like.
Yes, right.
Okay, sir. I have noted. I forgot. Tomorrow I will ask.
Yeah, you can post in the Telegram group.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Fine, guys. Thank you. Please start work. I have uploaded the notes in the website. Can you guys check it and confirm? Are you able to see the notes? Are you guys able to see the notes I have uploaded just now?
Sir, one minute. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, actually we are sharing one link to email, right? Through email, right?
Yeah.
To active our
To unlock the account.
at the time, yes, sir. To unlock our account. At the time of how can we there we will get only email ID, right? Any we are holding any token at the time of
You have to analyze, man.
sending.
That you have to analyze. That you have to analyze. Okay? You analyze that and you come up with your analysis. Then I will tell you my analysis. Then you can compare where you are wrong.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Fine. Fine, guys. Notes is uploaded. Please download that notes and follow the steps and complete the task for today. We'll meet again in the tomorrow session.
ఇంకా లేవంట దాని ఇంట్లో ఉన్నాయంట అది మాకు లేవో అలా వచ్చి పట్టుకెళ్తానే అని చెప్పి బ్యాగ్ వేసుకున్నాడు సరే డబ్బాలో డబ్బులు తీసేస్తున్నాను